Hello guys and welcome for another video with Fen, and in today's video I'm going to talk about who are the best heroes for Garrison. And it's kind of a difficult subject for me because your Garrison captain or Garrison hero will depend on who are your opponent and what are the situation as well. So I will give you 3 options you can have for your Garrison team, and the first option I'm going to give you is Thunder and Lewis. And as you can see, these 2 heroes are my Garrison heroes, and I'm gonna explain why. So first of all, Thunder is actually one of the best heroes for Garrison because he's got the defense talent tree and he's got the Garrison talent tree. And also, you probably know that already, but Thunder is one of the best heroes for healing, and therefore that hero or that squad will last very long, and your shelter will have a really good defense. So that's why I choose Thunder for my Garrison captain. And then I put Lewis because once you awaken him, you go to circular area of damage and can deal damage to up to 5 enemy squads. So that's the first reason why I'm using Lewis for my assistant. And the second reason is his rage regeneration. So I get an additional 25 rage when I'm using a basic attack. So pretty much every second I've got an additional 25 rage. So it means that my Thunder is gonna heal much better or more often. And also if you got people swarming a shelter, it's gonna be really good because Louis is gonna do a lot of damage to these squads as well. So that's why I choose these 2 heroes. Also, Louis is actually a really good choice for your tower if you need to defend your tower, because what people is gonna try to do is they're gonna bring all their squads and then put them squad above the tower, so they'll try to block people to reinforce that tower. But if you have Louis as the assistant, then Louis gonna, make damage to all these squads, and of course the people don't want to lose their troops, so they're gonna go away. So which means it's gonna be very easy to reinforce your tower. So that's one of the big advantage of Louis and Thunder Louis in general. And the only disadvantage is, as you can see on the first skill of Lewis, the damage taken by each enemy squad is reduced by 15% for every additional target. So that means people can counter that skill, and then people will send 4 squad with only 1 troop, and then therefore reduce the damage factor of Lewis. So you need to pay attention to that. But otherwise, Thunder Lewis is absolutely fantastic team for your Garrison. The second option I have is Thunder again, and I'll say Victor. Where is Victor? So Victor, and Victor is a leader hero, and I don't have him, but I'll tell you why Victor is a really good choice. Because, so as you can see, the damage factor is pretty high, and then when you see in Garrison, he increased his skill damage by 15%, so you've got an additional 1800 damage factor. Then as you can see, Victor is really good because he increased the squad attack and the squad HP. For other heroes like Thunder will only increase the defense, attack or HP of only 1 troop type, which is infantry, and most heroes will boost the stats for only 1 troop type. But Victor will increase all your troop attack and HP here. And then he's got a skill damage reduction. And then when you've got more troop type, you got an additional 20% attack. So Victor is really, really good for your shelter because you will have all the time multiple troop type, and that's why I like him. And the last skill, for each basic attack, you've got a 20% chance to deal additional damage to the target, so pretty much an extra 2000. And this damage will happen roughly twice every 3 turns, or every 3 rounds. So 1 round is essentially like 6 to 7 basic attack and then the skill damage. So I consider that as 1 round. So a 20% chance to deal additional damage. It's roughly twice that this will happen over 3 rounds. And then once you awaken, you got extra damage factor and it's increased by 20%. So again, you've got quite a decent damage factor for a single target. I would say Victor is really good for single rally or single target. If you've got multiple target, I don't think it's that good. But for your shelter and for 1 target, I think it's probably even better than Lewis. So that's it for the second option. And my third option would be Rayo. So Rayo with Riven. and Regoro, so you can put Regoro in defense and Garrison and use Riven as your assistant because you've got a really good synergy between these two heroes. Regoro create a shield, and you can also have additional shields with Riven, and she will increase also the bonus of the shield and counter damage as well. So you got a extra 27% of counter damage when you've got the shield, which will happen a lot of the time if you have Regoro. And Regoro, as if he's awakened, I think it's 30% counter damage too, and you get also shield here when she's awakened. So you will spam a lot of shield, so that means you will deal more damage when you got the shield on and more counter damage when the shield is on too. The only problem I've got with that squad is because they create so much shield, it's kind of a weakness if you have a rally with Bella, because if I take my Bella, for example, the third skill, you will see it deals 24% more damage to squad with shield effect. So if you have a rally squad with Bella, attacking your shelter or tower is probably not a good idea to have Regoro or Riven. Otherwise, if it will happen, then I would say probably change your Regoro for Thunder, and then you will have pretty good squad, I think, to tank your tower or your shelter. So that's the three options I've got for you. You can have additional heroes if you want to use them, if you don't have these heroes. And I think I would give Tom. Tom, for example, is a really good hero as well, for pretty much the same reason, good defense and Garrison talentry, and then he's got a nice healing factor as well, nice counter damage as well. Then you got Eddie, is a really good option too if you got a lot of infantry. I'll show you why. Eddie has got a nice damage factor and he's got a shield factor as well. And then you can see you've got a 30% of infantry squad defense, and you've got an additional 30% of infantry squad HP. So 30% on HP and defense is really good if you've got a lot of infantry. And if you're pairing with Thunder, so if you increase the HP, you will have a better healing effect as well. So AD might be a really good pick as well to check. And I'll say Robert could be really good too. I thought Robert was pretty bad at the beginning, but now I think he's actually a really good hero. So you can reduce your HP of your opponent, which is really nice. He's got a really nice damage factor too. And then if you check, so you've got more damage, you can create a shield too when you use a basic attack. So 20% chance to grant a shield, so that means it's twice. So the possibility to have 2 shields over 3 rounds again. And then this is actually the best part. So the counter attack have 20% chance to burn the enemy for 3 seconds with a damage factor of 1200. And then if you have him awaken, you've got an additional 50% when the enemy has an HP reduction. So I'll tell you how it works. So as I said, 20% chance is roughly twice to launch that skill over 3 rounds, but it's a counter attack. So that means any squad that will attack your shelter or your tower has the same chance. So potentially you can spam a lot of these damage factor when you use Robert as a Garrison hero. Jacob as well is a pretty good hero that you can use for Garrison. Pretty much the same as Louis, he can deal damage to multiple targets. He's got a nice counter damage as well. And then you got also bonus stats on Garrison. So you see increased Garrison squad damage by 7.5. Then this one is a nice skill, but I think this one is bugged at the moment and it doesn't work, unfortunately. So yeah, but otherwise Jacob is a pretty good hero for Garrison too. And from a general point of view, if you have multiple targets, then it's probably better to use either Louis or Jacob to have a damage factor on multiple targets or a really good counter attack. So counter attack, for example, Rayo has a really good counter attack, or Robert has a really good counter attack too. If it's a single target, then it's probably better to use either Victor or Riven because they are focused on single target only. And then it depends also if it's on your shelter or if it's on a tower. For shelter, it's probably better to use like some heroes like Victor that buff you all the different troop types. Same as Riven. If you check Riven, for example, you will see she has here, increase squad defense by 32% for 3 seconds if garrisoning. She can be also a really good hero for defending your shelter, and you need to pay attention to who's attacking your shelter. If it's Bella, then it's probably not a good idea to have heroes using shield, and if it's Julia, then you don't have so many options, but I've seen really good defense with Regoro Riven against Julia Louis or Julia Master Jean. Yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video if it is the case. Of course, have a nice evening or a nice day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye.